It turns out that only 3 teams can get relegated from the Premier League at any one time. So here we are to look at which 3 teams could get relegated this season. I'm Laurence McKenna, and this is a YouTube channel. If you guys haven't already subscribed, who cares? There are lots of teams that could go down this season. Lots to the degree where basically it could be any of the bottom 7. I don't want to put Wolves in there, and frankly, I don't even think Bournemouth are going to end up in there either. We can look at the form table just a little bit, just before we get into this, but really we're going to go down from 14 to 20, work out who's already relegated. Spoiler, it's Southampton. And everyone else who possibly could or could not get relegated. I'll be interested to know what your thoughts are. Let me know down in the comments below as we go through the relegation zone. Some teams in not great form, and it's really the bottom 4 which aren't in 5 really that aren't in great form right now. There's a couple of wins here, 3 wins here, 3 wins here, 3 wins here. Like, there's enough form in the people basically Bournemouth up and probably even West Ham up that they won't really be counted. But we just need to look at Bournemouth just for a second, because things are turning around a little bit for Bournemouth. Earlier on in the season you would have said they were dead cert to go down, but they've turned things around, not only with different tactics but also just by actually doing the things you need to do in the Premier League, playing the bigger teams in the way you need to play the bigger teams, and winning the games that they're supposed to be winning, meaning that they will stay in the Premier League in a very pragmatic fashion. Interestingly though, their next game is against Leeds, and Leeds United are obviously a team that are desperate to stay in the Premier League. They then go on to play Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Manchester United and Everton. 2 of these guys are relegation candidates, should we say, in the final set of games. Manchester United, are they really battling for anything? Chelsea, are they really battling for anything? As much as Bournemouth are battling for stuff? Can they even battle if Frank Lampard is still their manager? And frankly, has Roy Hodgson already set his team away on what I would call beach time? I mean, the team are doing well since then, but frankly, if they win one more game this season, these guys are good, all right? And Roy Hodgson can basically have a holiday as much as anyone else. Bournemouth, they ain't going down. They've really turned things around, and it's actually been really nice to watch. But it turns out that just getting 10 wins in the Premier League and putting together a couple of draws keeps you there. It sounds simple, but it's something that West Ham haven't really done this season, and that's what puts them in a precarious position. I think they're one of the interesting ones. By the way, things at the bottom, away games. Things at the top, home games. Who knew? Next up, they do play, indeed, Crystal Palace. If Crystal Palace can get a win against West Ham, it will damn West Ham, but if Crystal Palace themselves lose to West Ham, it's probably a big favour for West Ham. I don't think I actually see that one being a draw. People always talk about relegation fights as wins and losses. Draws are one of the things that will get you relegated. Believe me, especially, come look at the Premier League table. Look at all these draws down here for Everton. Not turning those things into wins. And then, obviously, losses also get you relegated. Crystal Palace down here, boom, they're fine. But then look, this is the tricky bit, right? They play Man City. You're losing to Man City this season, all right? You're not winning against them. They then play Manchester United, possibly a 50-50 at best. They play Alkmaar at home. Then they play Brentford. Brentford, tricky one this season. But it's one of those games where it could become a slobber knocker. Who knows? Alkmaar away then this is the final killer one here. And this is why I'm a little bit worried that West Ham might get suckered into things. You got a loss here against Man City. You possibly have another loss out of the 2 of these. Then these 2. Leicester, very good side right now, thanks to the good players coming back in. We'll talk about them in just a second. Leeds United may be desperate, may already be relegated by this point. But the fact is, playing Leeds in the last 2 games and not playing them further up here possibly helps West Ham. I'm just saying, it may do. Leicester may also already be relegated by the time they play them. Sad times. Let's move on to that Leeds run-in. Again, teams at the bottom away, teams at the top at home. It's not tricky. They play Bournemouth next. Big 6-pointer potentially. Bournemouth could potentially stay in the league, probably, with that. They then play Man City. Automatic loss. They then play Newcastle. Probably a loss there as well. The West Ham game really critical. And then a win. I only literally see Leeds United getting one win and maybe 1 draw in these last few games. For me, especially if you look at this Premier League table, that may just, and I mean just, be enough to keep them in the Premier League. Only because other teams have got harder games in there. But that's sickening if you think about it. I mean, I'm just saying as it is. I mean, look, previous seasons it was something like 37, maybe 38 points, possibly even 35 would keep you in the Premier League. But this season it really is going to be 35 that keeps you guys in the Premier League. Look at this. That's why West Ham have got this cut-off point. I think they look pretty good. It's really Leeds down. And that's Leeds' next team down is, of course, you guessed it, Forest. Forest play Brentford away next. They've then got Southampton. The thing with Forest is, they've not come into form at the wrong time, but they just can't get this squad to gel. They can't get things together. There are a lot of games where they're sort of, oh yeah, we might look good. No, bad now. Not a great run in, but not a bad one. And there's a reason why I think these guys stay up. Brentford, 50-50, could be a slobber knocker. Southampton, probably already down. Chelsea, beatable by this Forest side. Arsenal, it's one of those ones where it's like, I want Arsenal to win that game, and really not many teams in the bottom are playing Arsenal towards the end of the season. If, say, by the time that they play Arsenal, at home, by the way, Arsenal are already out of the league because City have just sort of, made things impossible for them, or they're demoralised to a degree. By the way, only 2 games left at that point, so it's not out of the realms of possibility. Arsenal might just have sort of, not collapse, but sort of just be beyond whatever it is. Anyway, Crystal Palace. Not a bad finish to the season. I think they stay up because I can see them getting at least 6 points from this last few, and that, my friends, keeps Forest in the league. Next up, it's Leicester. Leicester play Everton next. That, my friends, is a 6-pointer. This here is like, boom, it's huge. Bam, it's massive. Then they play Fulham. Fulham probably get some points there. I think they probably also get, I think this ends up as a draw, this 6-pointer. Gutting, I know, but here we are. Fulham, I think they win against them. Liverpool, I think they at best can get who knows with Liverpool this season, but there's possibly points on the card there. Is cards there is what I'm saying. Newcastle, don't think they get points there. Newcastle may already be guaranteed top 4 by that point. They might already be, away celebrating and sort of, hey, we got top 4, this is sick. Possibly points then. Good to play Newcastle, maybe so late on in the season. And then they play West Ham. The West Ham team possibly also staying up at that point. Probably won't care all that much. But does it keep Leicester in the Premier League? Frankly, probably not, due to the amount of points that the team above them are going to get. There's a possibility maybe Leeds drop down here and Forest drop up here. But for me, we're really just we're probably looking at maybe it's that. Do all these teams deserve to stay in the league? Not really. But here we are. Next up is Everton. Everton have been poorly managed season after season after season after season. You could say the same, arguably, about Leicester's kind of managed decline over time, but I don't think Leicester have had the same owner mismanagement, should we say, as Everton have had. Everton are in real trouble if they go down. I don't see Everton coming straight back up. I see a lot of the bigger players leaving. I don't think of it as a good thing that they go down. I worry they could become another Leeds. They could become another Newcastle, another big side that goes Sunderland, or there's so many of them you can name that don't come back up straight away because I just don't see the owner putting the money in. This is a 6-pointer right here, but it is away. This could be some points, no points, possibly points, no points. Out of those last, I see them getting 6. Is 6 points keeping them in the Premier League? I reckon they just miss the drop. I reckon they miss it and they get taken down this season, if I'm honest. It's not looking great for Everton. Hate to say it because I love the Merseyside derby every season, but this could be the season where they go down. And it's frankly not down to manager Sean Dyche, though he did come in and give them a lot of structure. He came in and he they had that great game against Arsenal, really great, motivating for them, but not what they needed in the long run. You can outthink Arsenal, but that's not what you're trying to do in the long run. You've really got to get people scoring goals, frankly, and look at that as a goal difference at the bottom here. Goals for, goals they just don't have enough for. They've got half as many goals scored as they do against. It just doesn't work. They've scored the lowest amount of goals in the Premier League this season, and that tells you everything you need to know. They lost Richarlison. They've not been able to get other people up front, should we say, scoring, because it's not always been the people that you want to have. It's not always been a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he's a great goal scorer, sure, and maybe he's a Premier League quality goal scorer, but he's not been in the side enough, and I don't know if Sean Dyche is going to be able to keep him there either. Finally, we're going to Southampton. Don't really see the point of this, but I will do it anyway. Newcastle. I'm a bit of a fiend for predicting stupid scorelines here, but they played Liverpool last day of the season. I really struggle to see them getting more than 1 point out of these last few games here. Maybe they play with a freedom and a lack of inhibition. Yeah, but look at that. They're already down for 24 points. There's no way that they're making it out of the relegation. Wow. There's no way they're making it out of the relegation zone. There's no way that they're making it out of this trouble. And frankly, a lot of the players that they would have probably resold for a higher price may move on to other clubs for an even lower price than we originally thought they would have gotten. You could have been getting 20, 30 million for some of these players. You're probably going to be selling between 10 and 15. Some of these guys are going to want to retain their value, going to want to move on to other clubs. it's not looking good for Southampton in the short to long term. But maybe it's a good thing that they go down. I can't say the same for Everton. I can't say the same for Leicester. I think Southampton are better at managing that level of decline. Forest probably better at bouncing back up. Leeds possibly better at bouncing back up. But at the moment, I think it's between these four. I see Forest staying up. Look, mainly because I think they get enough points from these last few games. I can see them beating a lot of these sides. See them beating Southampton, see them getting a draw at Brentford, see them beating a Chelsea, see them beating a Palace by that point at the end of the season. It's about the order in which you play teams. But maybe I'm wrong. Leeds have also lost Sinistera, so maybe they get Notto in a lot more. I think they probably stay up, probably for that reason, because actually I really like Notto. He's not been playing a lot in recent games, but hey, I enjoy his football. But with Sinistera out for the rest of the season, they're going to have to bring another body into that attacking area for them and possibly get a bit more offensive, even more offensive. Yeah, so basically it's Southampton. I think Everton are going down, man. I think Sean Dyche can't keep... I mean, look at this. You see them beating them. Maybe there's 9 points. If they get 9 points out of these last two, maybe 10. I don't know if they get 9 points out of this. I just can't see them scoring against so many of these sides. Like Wolves have been way more solid this season. No, it's not happening. Everton go down. And finally, I think it probably is Leicester, if I'm honest. 2, probably even 3 Premier League stalwarts going down this season. Could have been Leeds, don't think it's Leeds. Could have been Forest, don't think it's Forest. Definitely not. West Ham, they've got these little tricky bits in here, but see what I'm saying? Like they'll beat Leeds there, they'll beat Leicester there. They can just etch enough points in between these basically AZ Alkmaar games to do something. Possibly they'll get a bit distracted, but I really don't see it happening. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. We've been through all of the possibilities. We've been through the outcomes and who beats who. Kind of I'd say I think we lose some Premier League stalwarts this season. And I think we are poorer for it. Leicester won the league within the last decade. Everton, they've always been in the top division. It's sad to see them go. And Southampton, I know a lot of people have got a bit of beef with Southampton, but I like them. Good feeder club. No, I'm joking. I think Southampton go down. I think Everton go down. I think Leicester go down. I'd love to know what you guys think, but I will chat to you guys in a while. Much love.